In this video, I'll introduce a tool that allows you to share your Planner Premium plans with your clients in a simple and professional way. You can print your plans as easy-to-read visual timelines, so-called Gantt charts, or provide them as MS Project files, which are often the preferred option for clients. One thing up front. If you see the Gantt chart in your Planner app, it means you have a Plan 3 license. And with this license, you can also use Microsoft Project, the standalone enterprise software, at no additional cost. You just need to install it yourself or ask your IT department to do it for you. The main reason for creating this Planner to Project converter is Planner's severely limited printing functionality. If you try to print a Planner Premium project with around 70 tasks, as shown here, this is what you get. The printout is scattered across 12 pages with no customization options, not exactly client-friendly. You can't customize the bars, you can't display any additional information on them. There's no title block, and there's no option to add your own logo. This is how the same plan looks when printed in MS Project after being imported with the converter. You can print it on one page if needed. You could also print the plan on 2x2 pages, for example. The choice is yours. You can also print the plan in MS Project reduced to the project phases. You can format the plan in detail in MS Project. Adjust the bar color manually or automatically. Adjust the bar labels, format the table rows. You can also create a project roadmap that visualizes the progress. When printing your plan, you can display a legend, add a title block, and include your company logo. The conversion from the Planner Premium plan to MS Project requires two steps. First, export your premium plan as an Excel file in Planner. Second, import this Excel file from MS Project using the MS Project import add-in. Optionally, you can then adjust the layout of the Gantt view. Step 1. Go to your Planner app, either in Teams or in your browser via the Planner website. And then select the plan you want to export. Activate the timeline view, which is the Gantt view, and then export the plan using the drop-down command Export to Excel. Step 2. Install the import add-in and then open MS Project. You can download a demo version from this URL. Then click on Planner Import and select the exported Excel file. In most cases, you can simply confirm with OK, but I'll explain the options in a moment. And with that, the Planner plan was imported into MS Project. I'm repeating the process to explain the options. Importing the Excel file again into an empty project. Okay. If you go to the grid view of your Planner Premium plan and hover the cursor over the start and end dates, you can see the time. In this case, 9 AM to 5 PM. You should be aware that Planner Premium plans are designed to work continuously from 9 AM to 5 PM without a break. But maybe your administrator has configured your Planner app so that the calendar always runs from 8 AM to 5 PM, including an hour's break. So if you see in the grid view of your Planner app that the tasks run from 8 AM to 5 PM, it means your administrator has set a 1-hour break, and you can adjust that setting right here. which then allows the correct calculation of the task duration. The daylight saving time checkbox is either checked or unchecked based on the current date. In other words, it reflects whether daylight saving time is currently in effect. And that's important because Planner always exports the data in standard time. As you just saw, the current schedule runs from 9 AM to 5 PM, but the Excel file shows 8 AM to 4 PM. That's because this video was recorded in July during daylight saving time. So you need to take that into account, and that's why you can choose here whether to include daylight saving time or not. The Import Resources as Text checkbox is relevant if your administrator has assigned different working hours to employee resources than those defined in the calendar. When allocating resource effort, the add-in assumes an equal distribution of hours over a given time period. If that's not the case, discrepancies can occur. To prevent this from disrupting your plan, it's often easier to import the resource names as plain text. This way, the structure of the plan remains intact, and the output can be printed exactly as it was exported from Planner. But in about 95% of cases, the default settings will give you the best results. Finally, if you like, you can adjust the layout of the Gantt view. You can do this manually, for instance by deciding what appears to the left and right of each bar. For example, you might choose to always display the start date on the left side of the bar. And there are many ways to adjust this manually. Either globally, as you just saw, or you can select specific tasks and adjust the bar color only for those. For example, or you could use a predefined layout in the background that follows your company standards. Then you simply select this predefined view. This way you can apply company-branded formatting with just one click. However, this enhanced Gantt view is not part of the add-in. You would need to create it once within your organization. For example, you could create a view called Gantt view for customers with the desired formatting and then store it as a global view. Once that's done, you can access this custom layout anytime with just a single click. And now I'll give you a quick guide on how to format and print Gantt charts in MS Project. First, the imported planner plan should be printed on one page in MS Project. This is what the imported planner plan looks like in MS Project. Now I've applied a little trick to this plan. Planner Premium only allows you to assign tasks to actual people, either yourself or other members of your organization. To do that, you first need to create a group and then add the relevant people to it. However, sometimes you might want to assign tasks to generic roles rather than real individuals. For example, to indicate that a task is assigned to a generic role like planner or architect. Since you can't assign such roles in the Assign To column, I've used the Labels column instead. There I created a set of generic resources and can now map them to tasks by applying the appropriate label. These labels have now been imported by the Import tool into the Labels column. Now, using the formatting settings, you can configure the Gantt chart to always display the contents of this column to the right of each bar. To do this, go to the Gantt chart Format tab, open the Format drop-down and select Bar Styles. This opens the formatting table for the current Gantt chart. In this table, locate the light blue bars. In my case, they are already selected. Then switch to the Text tab on the bottom. Here you can define which fields are shown on the left, right, top and bottom of each bar. In my case, I want to display the Labels field on the right side of the bars, which corresponds to the internal field text 4. You need to know that, and now you know. This means that the generic resources are now displayed to the right of the bars. You can easily identify the underlying field names by hovering your cursor over the column headers. The actual field name will appear in parentheses. This is necessary because Project doesn't offer native fields like bucket, prior or labels, so custom fields had to be used instead. To find out which built-in text field corresponds to which custom label, simply hover over the respective column header. Before printing the plan, you should first decide which table columns you want to include in the printout. In this case, I don't want to print the last few columns on the right. To exclude them, simply move the dividing line between the table and the Gantt chart to the left, just enough so that the unwanted columns are partially hidden. Only the columns that are fully visible will be printed. After that, go to the File menu and choose Print as usual. Now at the bottom of the status bar, you can see that the project would currently be printed across 8 pages. To scale the printout to fit on a single page, click Page Setup. In this case, because it's a very large view that needs to be scaled to 1 page, I would turn off the legend. Via the Legend tab, Legend on None page. And then in the Page tab, adjust the scaling to fit to 1 page. And then you get this effect. You can also adjust the start and end dates to make the Gantt chart fit neatly on the printed page. To improve readability, it may help to visually extend the table rows across the Gantt chart. That way, it's easier to match the task information with the corresponding bars. Alternatively, you could display the task names on the left side of the bars. To show horizontal lines across a chart, go to Gantt chart format, Grid lines. Choose Gantt rows, select the line style, and I recommend a light gray. These lines will also appear in the printout. With these steps, you can successfully print a full project on 1 page. If you'd prefer to spread it across multiple pages, for example 2 by 2, you can adjust the scaling accordingly. Next, I show you how to format these bars, shapes and colors. To demonstrate this, I'll import another planner plan into MS Project using the add-in. And now the bar colors in the Gantt chart need to be adjusted. As you've seen earlier, I've created a second view that applies this formatting automatically. And for that, I would like to give you ideas on how to implement this. But first, you can manually adjust the bar shape and color. For example, to change the appearance of a summary taskbar, select the row, go to Gantt chart format bar, and modify the shape and color of start, middle and end bar. However, in most cases, you want this to happen automatically. That's where conditional formatting comes in. So how does it work? First, go to the Gantt chart Format tab and select the Format Bar Styles command. The goal is for these tasks below phase 1 to be colored light red. For this, a new formatting rule, phase 1, is declared. And the bar is formatted accordingly. In this case, a full shape, a solid pattern, and a light red. And what's a bit special is the way you define the condition. All these fields that you can select here are yes/no fields. And so you can click together certain conditions that must be true for this formatting to be applied. In our case, we need custom flag fields or yes/no fields, and they are called flag 1 to flag 20. Since certain flag fields are already occupied in my environment, for example 1 to 5 are occupied, I use the field flag 6. In your case, you would choose flag 1. And what I'm declaring with it is if for a task its flag 6 value is true, then the formatting rule phase 1 applies. Then you insert the flag 6 column, or in your case flag 1. And now you'll see a semi-automatic effect. If you manually set your flag to yes, the task will be colored based on the corresponding formatting rule. However, this shouldn't be triggered manually. The yes or no value should instead be set using a formula. To enter this formula, right-click the column header, choose Custom Fields, and rename the field so you'll recognize its purpose later. In my case, I've named it phase 1. And then you can formulate a condition using this formula editor. In my case, I simply write the formula. And the question is whether the content of this field is equal to the value phase 1. The answer can only be yes or no. Okay, okay, okay. And now for all tasks whose summary task name is phase 1, the value is set to yes, and the formatting rule takes effect in the background. This is a principle of conditional formatting. And now you have to repeat these steps for all shapes, all colors, and all categories. I've shown you the procedure for the red light bars, i.e. the planned tasks. Next, you need to apply the same method to the progress bars and the summary task bars as well. And since you'll be doing this for all 4 phases, you'll end up creating a total of 12 formatting rules to fully automate this layout. But you only need to set it up once. After that, the automation takes over and saves you a lot of time. So that's what it looks like. In my case, I defined 4 distinct phases, which means 3 formatting rules per phase, resulting in 12 conditions altogether. I showed you earlier that you can apply this formatting simply by selecting the corresponding prepared view. For this to work on your system, you need to ensure that this view is actually available on your computer. And that's the final step I'm going to show you now. To do so, copy the Gantt chart view and save it under a new name, for example, Customer Gantt chart. Then make this custom view available for use in other projects across your environment from now on. To do this, right-click on the left-hand side and open the More Views dialog. Then copy the Gantt chart view and rename it to Customer Gantt chart. Close the dialog. To make this new view available in all future projects, you'll need to publish it to your system. This is done using the global template file. Go to File, Info, Organizer. Here you can manage your global template file. Now copy the Customer Gantt chart into your global MPT file. I've already done that, so I'll skip this step here. You also need to copy all the flag fields that have formulas assigned to them. I won't repeat that either since it's already done in my case. Once you completed these steps, the functionality is fully implemented, allowing you to automatically format your Gantt chart by simply selecting the Customer Gantt chart view. So that was the introduction to my Planner Import add-in for MS Project. Feel free to download it and try it out. Once installed, you'll find a new Planner tab in MS Project. Click the Planner Import button to select your Excel file and start the import process. Go to this URL and download the installer package. You can also find the link in the video description. Here above and below the image you find the download link for regular users, which is sufficient in most cases. In rare cases, 2 required packages may be missing. If so, simply use the admin version of the installer. It includes everything you need. The download package comes as a zip file, which you can simply unpack. The zip file contains a Windows installer. Just double-click it and follow the short installation process. The tool will be active the next time you open MS Project. If you're not using the add-in for a while or don't need it anymore, you can either hide its tab or uninstall it altogether. To temporarily hide the tab, click on the heading and select Customize the ribbon. And then deactivate this tab. If you want to uninstall the add-in completely, right-click on the Windows icon and select Installed Apps. Search for the Planner tool and uninstall it using this button. So that's it for this video. If you're interested in training for Microsoft Planner or Microsoft Project, you'll find more information on this page. And if you'd like to book a free consultation on setting up a digital project management office with Project Online, just send me a quick email.